Good day, everyone. This is Ralph, and we're going to be talking about Module 2. Module two's lesson today is going to be the impact of digital technology. So let's talk about what we're going to cover. Today's objectives is to explain the evolution of society's reliance on technology, develop personal uses for technology to help with productivity, learning, and future career growth, and to explain the role of technology in the professional world. Well, there is a history that it started off with, and that would have been the vacuum tube. The next generation from the vacuum tube were transistors, which were acting just like vacuum tubes. But from there, we went to integrated circuits. That was in the 1960s. In 1971, microprocessors took off. And when they did, it made the 1970s and 80s really interested in PC personal computers, and they gained a lot of popularity. So, what are we going to do with all of this computer knowledge? Well, we start embedding it into things that we use every day. And to explain that, we'll say that it's small and they have limited hardware, but enhance the capabilities of everyday devices. Some of those devices can be, say, your refrigerator, your mobile phone, automobiles, airplanes. It's just the list goes on and on. Vending machines. The well, when they started to actually look at what they were doing when they embedded these computers, they had to come up with a terminology for it. So they call it the Internet of Things. These are processors are embedded in many of the product's smart devices, which communicate via the internet or wireless network. This slide is actually showing you examples of how they have been incorporated into our everyday use. As you can see down the bottom, they have refrigerators and phones. They also have our ability to send messages, to give us alerts about different situations. So when we moved from there, we decided that we wanted to make something that would simulate human capabilities. So artificial intelligence came about, the technological use of logic and prior experience to simulate human intelligence. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is the simulation of human intelligent processes by machines, especially computer systems. These processes include learning, the acquisition of information, and rules for using the information, reasoning, using the rules to reach approximate or definite conclusions, and self-correction. Particular applications of AI include expert systems, speech recognition, and machine vision. Now, these are great. So when they came about, it made it very easy or capable of using speech recognition, virtual reality, logical reasoning, and creative processes. As you can see, there's a link here that you can go to on YouTube, which will take you into that world just a little bit. Now, virtual reality is the use of computers to simulate real or imagined environments that appear as 3D dimensional. You're seeing a lot of this in the gaming world. Uh, Something else that came about was augmented reality, which is AR. This is a type of VR that uses an image of an actual place or thing that adds digital information to it. Pokemon would be a great example of how that's being done. Now, artificial intelligence, virtual assistants is what they actually provide. Video games, navigation apps, and security. Okay, but natural language processing computers interpret and digitalize spoken words and commands. And digital assistance, for example, is being utilized by Apple Pay, Torillo, Netflix, Airbnb, and many more. In this next slide, you can see that robotics is still coming on strong. Robotics is useful in situations where it is impractical or dangerous or inconvenient for a human to actually try to perform that task. Robotic arms and cameras can assist surgeons also. Now, once you start to pull all this together, a large company might only use a piece of each one of this type of technology. And whenever you have multiple pieces working together as one, it's called an enterprise. And in enterprise computing, each department of a large company uses technology specific to its functions. Just like accounting would keep track of income and spending, but someone in marketing would create a track for success of marketing campaigns that target specific demographics. So you could see right away that computers are still being used, and they're being embedded into the programming that people do every day. Now, I'm going to stop it at this point because this is where uh, this lecture is actually in three parts, and this is part one. And when we come back, we're going to talk about how technology assists users with disabilities. However, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and select part two so we can get you started on that. Thank you, and we'll see you on the other side.